Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Sunday Show on Africa Independent Television, AIT. My name is Obia Ajuro. It's been about 5 days since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu suspended the elected leaders in Rivers State government, including the state governor, Sim Fubara, by declaring a state of emergency in the South state. Consequently, the president also swore into office former Chief of Naval Staff, Ibok Ikwe Ibas, as the appointed sole administrator of the state. These actions sparked several reactions at various quarters and perhaps have remained on the front burner of national discourse. During the week also, news filtered into that the electorate in Kogi Central began a process of recalling their suspended Senator Nathasa Akpabio. It is clearly as an interesting time in Nigeria's political space and history. On the show today, we shall be addressing another critical topic away from politics, but very vital to our existence. But before then, permit me to welcome my one and only sweetheart, my associate anchor. Good morning.
You're permitted.
How was your week?
Well, it's been beautiful. How about you?
Oh, well, sweet.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, good morning, and it is indeed interesting. And of course, the time in Nigeria's history, especially at a time when the nation's democracy is adjudged to have come to an age. The 2027 general elections is approaching, and political class have clearly begun strategizing, perhaps some instances outdoing their perceived or prospective rivals. For us on the show and the majority of Nigerians, all we ask is for the improvement of the well-being of the citizens and the placement of priority on public interest.
Exactly. That is where the issue lies. For several decades, the political class would claim their actions or inactions are taken in the interest of the public. But in real sense, the contrary is the case. Lest we forget, on Wednesday, many Nigerians lost their lives to very unfortunate and unavoidable incident that happened on the Abuja-Kefi Expressway, where reports say brake failure of an articulated vehicle conveying CNG cylinders sparked multiple explosions, engulfing vehicles and many persons along the way. Our thoughts go to the families of the deceased as we pray for the repose of their souls.
And I say amen and amen to that. That incident is one among several other incidences that have happened at other locations within Nigeria in a space of weeks, months, perhaps. Our discussion today may help checkmate this ugly trend as we try to address challenges relating to road transportation in Nigeria. Those in position of authorities must rise to the occasion, while citizens make informed decisions at the appropriate time.
There are rules and regulations guiding activities on the roads. Regrettably, some persons, I beg your pardon, in authority would flout these rules. Some others will pay their way through after violating the rules and putting other road users in danger. How about the failure of the government to provide quality access roads, even road signs where necessary, to regulate traffic? The issues are just enormous. Like we said, we shall try to address some of these challenges, including the ever-rising cost of transportation despite efforts of the government to make it affordable. All this we shall discuss with our guest, who is a renowned transportation consultant with the World Bank and coordinates the World Bank National Urban Mobility Program for Nigeria. He is Engineer Emmanuel John. Before we have him, let's refresh our minds with what the news of the week had been. It is still the Sunday Show on Africa Independent Television. Don't go anywhere.
Grab your seats and join us on the most fascinating 60-minute infotainment journey, showing on your favorite TV channel, Africa Independent Television, AIT. Analysis on topical national issues, news, sports, and entertainment are on the menu. It's a show you do not want to miss. It is The Sunday Show.
It's still The Sunday Show on Africa Independent Television, AIT. Good morning once again. This morning, you already know we're looking at road transportation system. And we have a brain box in the studio. His name is Engineer Emmanuel John. And I want to say to you, welcome. Your resume is so wonderful and impressive.
He's an encyclopedia.
Exactly. So you're very welcome.
Thank
so
you
now I
very
want to
much.
begin by asking you to define the road transportation system in Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Yes. And I'm happy to be back again in the studio at AIT. I've always been here. First, let me begin by saying that the road transport system in Nigeria is what I considered underperformance. Far below certain standards and average that the rest of our counterparts across the world are. It is also the most under-regulated in comparison to sister modes of transport like the air or the maritime. And for that reason, the system is a bit below the standards required of its performance. And that affects all sectors because road transport to be specific, is the artery with which economic prosperity thrives. And you know if your artery is dysfunctional, you know how it affects your well-being. Inflation keeps rising. And a lot of different actions is being taken here and there with limited activity in enhancing road transportation system that is the grip of economic prosperity. I give a simple example. A man who earns, say, 100,000, lives in the city, and spends more than half of his income transporting to work and back. Half of his income on transport, has limited income to take care of housing, yes, to pay for hospital bills, to attend to other needs.
That is why a lot of people say the take home does not even take you home.
It can't take you home because transport will eat it along the way. And to that extent, you can't be talking about prosperity. You can't be talking about taking people out of poverty. You are not addressing road transport to be specific.
You can't even talk about other investment ideas. Even if the ideas are there, how would you even finance the investment?
Now, how do you define having a good transport system when there is no road?
Exactly what you have just said. Without a good road transport system, you can't have good transport system.
Yes.
And good transport system is not just about road. Again, that is one of the mistakes we have made over the years. We build roads, we don't develop transport. Road and transport are two things. Of course, road is a cardinal part of transport, but transport is bigger than road. And this is where we miss it.
More on that?
Yes,
now,
I was going to ask you.
This is the explanation. You have constructed road, but you need something to move on the road, the vehicle. Beyond the vehicle, you need the regulations to ensure that what moves on the road is efficient. You also need
maintenance
services that enables efficient movement, that enables the man who can't afford a car to be on the road. But all of those don't exist. We have lots of, totaling, we have about 204,000 kilometers of road in Nigeria. And the maintenance level is very poor. But beyond that is that we don't have transport. What we have is road construction.
Whose responsibility is it?
Now, this is also part of the problem. The institutional framework for effective transport system in Nigeria in terms of road is not there. And I can describe the challenge. If you go to aviation, for instance, you have a regulatory authority called NCAA that regulates all other agencies and activities within the aviation sector. If you go to maritime, you have Shippers Council that regulates every other activities within the maritime sector. On road, who does that?
There is Ministry of Transportation.
Just as there is Ministry of Aviation.
Okay.
E8, there is an agency.
Maybe they have a National Union of Road Transport Workers.
Now, so this brings us to the fact that the challenges in the road transport must begin with setting up the proper regulatory institution to drive the change that we need.
So there's an absence in the
There is
institutional...
absence of the institutional framework. Not totally absent because the Minister of Transport is there as the big umbrella, but shouldn't be the one directly involved in the day-to-day development of transport on the road. Unfortunately, that does not exist and nobody exists. It's a vacant space. That's why I can just wake up today, buy a truck and put on the road. I don't need to see anybody. I don't need to register anywhere. I just need to buy plate number, put, and register my vehicle, and then I enter the road.
And that is one of the reasons why I think the roads are also, they easily go bad.
Exactly.
Because some of these trucks carrying, heavy-duty trucks, carrying petrol, carrying other goods and whatever, apply these roads that they do not, those roads do not have the capacity for such kind of vehicles.
First, the vehicles, for those trucks you are talking about, one of the big issues is that nobody regulates them, like I said. And on that basis, vehicles with inappropriate sizes, carrying loads beyond their sizes, vehicles, one of the statistics far back, which the Federal Road Safety Corps gave, is that 90% of the trucks on our road are 30 years old and above. Where do you find that? Which country? And in any case, which other country do you find a vehicle leaving, a truck leaving Lagos and going to Maiduguri? You don't find such long distance for trucks. And then there are no special roads constructed for them. It's the same road meant for the small vehicles that they use. So you can expect that the roads will always get spoiled because these vehicles are not meant for
Ministers have always been appointed for Ministry of Transportation.
Yeah.
How come none of them have found it necessary to create these agencies or initiate the idea to Mr. President, whether since 1960 till date? How come? What is missing?
Thank you. I will discuss that from two perspectives. The first perspective is the fact that Nigeria is one of the few countries where road construction is different from road transport in terms of the agencies. And where such disparity exists, like Ghana, like South Africa, where the road construction is in a separate ministry from road transport as an agency, which is the Federal Ministry of Transport, for instance. One agency must be answerable to the other, must take instruction from the other to do its work. In our case, both agencies are at par. Nobody can tell each other who must do what. And so that creates a barrier between road transport policies and road construction to match the policy. That's one. The second one is road safety. If you go to the aviation sector, NIMASA, NCAA, which is within the ministry, and the, what do we call, the Accident Investigation Bureau is within the same ministry. That makes regulatory framework easier and makes cross-cutting issues easier to deal with. If you go to the maritime, you have NIMASA, all within the same ministry. It's easier to manage. If you come to the road, Federal Road Safety Corps is not answerable to the ministry. It's answerable to the presidency.
It is an agency on its own.
It's an agency on its own. So you discover that those lack of effective institutional framework is something for what we have. Now, coming to the specific question you ask, why the ministry have not thought of. The issue is we don't see transport, road transport, as the issue to deal with. What we see is aviation. What we see is maritime. When it comes to road, any of this is they are doing their work. Anybody who wants to travel can go and find whatever. But where effective and solution-based action is required is the road transport. To do that, agencies, I have had to write severally to the Federal Minister of Transport. I've written to far back when Idris, this minister from Bauchi, was the Minister of Transport. I wrote to him, he invited me, we had conversation. I wrote a book on transport, and I emphasized these issues. He forwarded the book, and I was looking forward to creation of relevant agencies that will enhance the road transport. That didn't work. When Amechi came in, I wrote a long letter specifying that road transport can never change under current scenario. And we had back and forth. I was invited, we had talks. One of it led to the creation of the road transport in the ministry for the first time in 2014. Before then, there was no road transport in the ministry. So it doesn't even exist before you talk about creating an agency. It was until 2014 that the Minister of Transport created road transportation as a department. This is where the problem is. So it is being able to understand what it takes to develop transport that necessitates the creation of an agency. If you don't think there's any problem, then you don't think you should create an agency to solve the problem.
Don't you think the individuals or organizations responsible for these haulages might be the people behind the ministries or ministers not being able to create such agency? Because first of all, when you look at road transportation, you look at those heavy-duty trucks, people own them.
Yes.
How come we can't have rail transport system, an effective rail transport system connecting between Abuja and Nasarawa, Abuja, Kogi, just like that, as it is abroad? Because when you say road transport, I have happened to enjoy very good road transport in America, joining Greyhound bus between New York and Maryland. It is a 5 hours journey, but you will not even know the difference whether you are in an aircraft or you are in a bus. So what is wrong with us? Okay. Too many questions, right?
No. It's something to deal with. Now, the issue is this. I remembered when the 25 years rolling plan of the rail sector was unveiled. I remember two of the unions protested heavily that if the rail is revived the way it is being done, that some of their members will not have work.
You see what I'm saying?
That is selfishness.
Did you see what I'm saying?
Protest. And that was because over the years, government left a space that informal people who are now growing to become formal
came into the scene.
Took over. They own the space. The unions are big, they are sound, they have the resources, they can push to achieve anything they want to achieve. In fact, government in certain quotas are afraid of them because of their capacity in quote. What happened? We have left the space for so long, and they have owned it. And taking it over from them has been difficult. So we can't take away the fact that their influence is strong because they own the space. And if I own the space and you want to come, you need to
fight.
You know?
Yeah, I need to, yes.
It's either you lobby me to agree with you or then be ready to fight me. This is a problem.
It is also important for these people to understand that everything evolves, because even you cannot expect Nigeria of 50 years ago to be the same.
Exactly.
So the road transport should evolve, because it will get to a point where we're talking about getting buses, we're talking about shuttle train stations and all that. And is it because of this particular set of people that will continue to remain in that kind of squalor? It still doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make a sense. Look at the incident that took place yesterday
Yeah.
It is a very, it's a very, very typical example of the situation we have.
Yeah.
There is as circular. Articulated vehicles are not supposed to move around that particular time, that time frame.
Yeah.
But that particular vehicle was on that road at that point.
Has anybody been relieved of his job?
So the issue
because
is
of that?
who enforces
What?
the circular?
That is it.
And does any agency truly have the capacity to actually do that at the moment? Maybe no. So then
Are you kidding?
you are dealing with an agency, I mean an informal system that is well grounded in their business for decades. And dealing with them must take certain subtle force to get it achieved. That's why I said part of the problem we have in this country is poor enforcement of systems. We have too many laws with nobody
Enforcing.
or limited organizations enforcing them. If you improve safety, let me give this simple example that will help you. I was in Paris a few years ago, 2011 or so. I crossed the road. I met a policeman standing there.
pay.
I don't know whether
dearly.
he came there because he saw me or
pay
he
dearly.
was there before I arrived. And then he asked for my passport. And I asked him why. And he said, you just jaywalked. So I asked him, what is jaywalk? Because I didn't know what it means, jaywalk. He said, you just crossed the road where you should not cross. So I handed him my passport. And he said...
He has arrested you.
And he brought out a tablet. He wanted to begin to write. I said, please, I just came. I came just yesterday. You can check my passport. You see the date I came. This is my first time here. He said, okay. He opened and confirmed that I just came yesterday. He said, well, because this is your first time, you are pardoned. But if you commit this kind of offense anywhere across France in the next 3 years, you will pay the old one plus the new one that you commit. And so I asked, what is the offense? And it's 109 euros.
That's a lot of money.
Euros in Nigeria of today is about 200,000 for crossing the road where I should not cross.
Can you tell us about your experience?
Now,
in Las Vegas.
just to finish that, after that experience, if I go to Paris, I've been to Paris maybe about 5-6 times, I behave like an egg that was not broke. I mean,
Look at my own case.
This is the enforcement system we are lacking.
Yes. My very first time of going to America, my training was in Las Vegas. And my hotel is just like this place where my office is. And then the eatery is opposite my chairman's house. And I needed to, like our usual way, sharp. I needed to cross to go get the football. A spirit said to me, look around and see whether anybody is crossing. Nobody was crossing. So I started walking. So I had to ask a black American, please, I want to get something. I'm hungry. I want to get food from this eatery. He said, you have to walk down and then there is a crossing for you to be able to get back to this place. Exactly. That working, for those who know Asokoro very well, I walked up to the beginning of T.Y. Danjuma to be able to turn and come back to this same spot on the other side to buy the snacks. And then I quietly sat down there, eat it. And
because
then,
you are tired
because
already.
I'm going to walk back again, same way I came. You see that? That's a very long journey. Because somebody is at his or her duty post enforcing the laws. Exactly. We have beautiful laws, all kinds of laws.
But very poor enforcement.
Yes, that is the issue. That is why somebody can just wake up, turn on your engine, and then go and beat traffic lights.
Now, can I tell you something else that deals with the trucks? Now, Nigeria is one of the few countries, in fact, in Africa, we are among the 5-6 countries with the worst vehicle age for importation. 15 years.
30 years, 20 years, 15 years.
Yes. Now, beyond that, we are also one of
dumping ground.
One of the
that is
few
what you're
countries,
trying to say.
Yes.
Dumping ground.
One of the few countries without end-of-life policy. End of life means at certain age or mileage, the vehicle should exit the fleet. We don't have it. So as long as the tire of the truck or the vehicle can turn, As long as the steering can balance to move, the
It's
vehicle
a vehicle.
remains on the road. So you see vehicles of 50 years ago, as long as they can move, they're on the road.
Is that not the responsibility of the VIO?
Not
Vehicle
only
inspection?
VIO, not only VIO.
Okay.
There are agencies like NESREA that deals with emissions and environmental issues. We have the Federal Road Safety Corps, we have the Standards Organization of Nigeria, we have the VIO. They are all there.
So
we
what
have
is-
the customs.
What is wrong with us, really?
What is wrong with us is the lack of enforcement. The spirit of enforcement is not there. And then when one of these was raised one time during a public hearing at the National Assembly, and they say, you see, Nigeria is poor, the poverty level. I say, you can never come out of poverty condoning indiscipline. You can never.
I love that payoff.
If you want to escape poverty, one of the cardinal ingredients for escaping poverty
Discipline.
is discipline. And until we come to that point, this debate continues.
Now let's talk about the agency, this road transportation agency. I think it is very important. What are the things? What are some of the things you pointed out to the former minister?
Yes.
For
Number
him
one.
to see
Number one,
reasons.
that letter was anchored on 5 key issues.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Number one is the setting of the institutional framework. We need proper institutions that will guide to develop the transport system in Nigeria. If you go to Ghana, they have the Ghana Highways Authority. You have the Ghana Urban Roads Authority. You have the Ghana Road Safety Authority. You have the Ghana, all of that to ensure that the road is fully covered. The road transport system is properly guided and developed. So the number one thing we need to do is to set up the appropriate institutional framework. That's number one. Number two, which is part of my recommendation, is to develop a national road transport policy. Currently, Nigeria does not have. We've never had. The current draft has been in a draft for 20 years. During the last National Council on Transport in Abeokuta, where all commissioners met and the minister was presiding over, I had the privilege of being the secretary of a subcommittee set up to look at the draft. And we came up with all of the recommendations completed. I submitted a report as an independent expert who was engaged in that program. After that, a validation program held. So we were thinking, finally, we are about to have a policy. And up till now, we don't have.
It is still in the coolers.
It's in the process. Now, so that's number two. Appropriate framework, policy framework that will drive the change we want. Number three is that you can't be budgeting for road and not budget for transport. Road is just a component of transport. What that means is that if you are building roads and you are not developing, you are not buying vehicles, you are not building institutions of transport, you are not setting up services that enable efficient transport system to run, you push everybody to go and buy cars. And that will result into the congestions that we already have. Very soon, Abuja will be like Lagos. You
If
can
not
leave your
worse.
house. If not worse. So, if you are dealing with road construction, you need to develop transport. Which means, stop, in fact, in specific term, I told the government, stop buying buses and giving to private sector to run. Give to union, give to buy buses and give to private companies to run. They are doing their business. They are not developing transport. It is their business they are after. What do? Develop institutional framework like the BRT system in Lagos. Develop effective rail system like Lagos is doing as an independent state. Fund states to do that because transport is not about a state. It's about people and the economy. Okay? So we need to develop transport as much as we are building roads. Even though the pace of road building is not also commensurate with the size of the country. That's number three. Number four deal with the monstrous system, the informal monstrous system. Let government own transport. Give a simple example. In Germany, after the Ukraine-Russia war started, they had serious gas problem that led to some countries almost shutting down in terms of their economy. One of the things Germany did was to put flat amount of $9. You pay it per month as an individual that lives in Germany as a citizen. Once you pay that $9, you have access to road transport, to rail, to urban transport. You want to take a train, you want to take a bus, you want to take everyone.
As soon as you pay, you have your ticket.
For an entire month. Why are they able to do that? Because government is in charge of transport. Government owns transport. Yes, private sector are running it, but government is in charge. We don't have such systems.
There's going to be...
Even when there is COVID-19, you can't help it. When there's nothing government can do, they can say, okay, we subsidize transport. When you finish saying it, you can't do anything.
You cannot be enforced.
The time is so short to really... We've actually exceeded 30 minutes because it's just like 5 minutes. Yes, my director has been... Yes, so there's going to be a part 2.
Can we do this again,
will you have the time for us to do this again next week?
I'm happy to do it.
Very well. So we will... my take from this particular interview today is you can never come out of poverty condoning indiscipline. Okay, on that note, we want to say thank you to Engineer Emmanuel John. And it's a deal. We'll have a part 2 of this interview for next week.
I'm happy to do that.
Thank you so much for coming. So we'll know where we stopped, and we're going to continue from there because we have not even touched rail line.
You know.
Yes. So thank you so much. We'll continue shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Grab your seats and join us on the most fascinating 60-minute infotainment journey, showing on your favorite TV channel, Africa Independent Television, AIT. Analysis on topical national issues, news, sports, and entertainment are on the menu. It's a show you do not want to miss. It is The Sunday Show.
Wow. It is simply captivating. A lot has been said, and we hope a lot was definitely heard and would be executed. Actions truly need to be taken to make the movement of goods and services a lot easier, clearly, and the government must also continue to strive towards making basic commodities like premium water spirit affordable and available at all times. Let's take you now to an entertainment and, of course, vibes and views. Don't go nowhere.
Hello, you're welcome to the Vibes and Views segment on the Sunday Show. It's time to relax. I am Anu Awojabi. Would you like to see an entertaining boxing competition between Nigerian singers Abibo Kikiola Portable and Darlington Okoye, Speed Darlington?
I'm a warrior. I fight to survive. Gangster Niger. Speed Darlington, Malowa, Omajegwa.
The duo Portable and Speed Darlington will square off in a friendly celebrity boxing bout scheduled for April 18, 2025 in Lagos. They have hit the gym ahead of the game.
Please, I want to beat Speed Darlington.
The Zazu singer Portable has bragged that he would beat Speed Darlington in the boxing battle, just as he beat Nigerian actor Charles Okocha in December of 2023.
In this life you go through tribulations.
You sure don't want to miss this fight.
Strong, no fear you go survive.
Though the nominees for the 2025 MTV Video Music Awards is yet to be unveiled, the organizers of the annual awards say this year's ceremony would be televised for the first time ever by the Columbia Broadcasting System, CBS. The MTV Video Music Awards, aimed at celebrating the biggest artists, music videos, and performances, also pay iconic tributes to the world's most famous superstars. The awards is scheduled for Sunday, September 7th at the UBS Arena, Elmont, New York City, United States. And that's my package for you on the Vibes and Views segment on this Sunday show. My name is Anu Awojobi. Many thanks for watching.
Okay, hello and welcome to Sports on the Sunday show. I am Lai Lawal. Starting over with volleyball, the wife of Nigeria President Senator Oluremi Tinubu declared the 39th African Women's Volleyball Club Championship open on Thursday at the Indoor Sports Hall of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. Senator Tinubu reiterated the need for more women participation in all spheres of life, including governance, economics, and societal development, as 16 teams representing 10 African countries began the competition for Africa's top pride in women's club volleyball competition. After a few hours of delay, the ceremony kicked off with a vibrant showcase of Nigeria's rich cultural heritage. Senator Tinubu urged participants to be exemplary ambassadors for their countries, highlighting the boundless potential of the African woman.
As you all compete in this tournament, I encourage you to see yourselves as ambassadors of sports and of the limitless potential that lies within every African woman. The discipline, teamwork, leadership, and resilience you cultivate as athletes are invaluable life skills that will serve you well beyond the volleyball court. To all participants, I encourage you to approach both victory and defeat with grace and dignity. You are all winners.
The ceremony also saw the presence of notable dignitaries, including representatives from the Nigerian Customs Service, the Confederation of African Volleyball, the National Sports Commission, the National Olympic Committee, and the Nigerian Volleyball Federation.
The timing of this championship is very significant. In the recent weeks, we've celebrated both International Women's Day and Mother's Day. These are global recognitions that the world indeed is ready, that the stage is set for women to be heard and to thrive.
Abuja is the heart of Africa today. Most populous nation is now the center of African volleyball, with 16 teams from 6 zones vying for continental title. This tournament is more than a competition. It's a stage where history is written. The winning team will not only be crowned as African champion, but will have the honor to represent Africa at the World Championship.
Sports have always been a powerful tool for unity, transcending borders, cultures, and backgrounds. Through competition, we witness not just the display of skill and determination, but also the shared aspirations of our continent. This championship is a testament to the strength and the spirit of African sportswomen who continue to break barriers and inspire the future generations.
In the opening match, the host team Nigeria Customs triumphed over Mayo Kane from Cameroon in straight sets 25-18, 25-17, and 25-22. Laila Wal, EIT News Abuja. And FIFA President Gianni Infantino has suggested that the power of sports in uniting people can be employed in ending the war in Ukraine, as he hopes the Russia hosts of the 2018 World Cup can return to the football landscape. Infantino made the comment at the UEFA Congress in Belgrade. This speech that the opportunity sports and football present for people to interact with one another could be utilized in fostering peace in Ukraine.
It's talks are going on for peace in Ukraine. I hope that we can soon move to the next page, bring back as well Russia in the football landscape, because this would mean that everything is solved.
If I repeat it, you will still have your doubts. When the war stops, they will be readmitted. The first decision was done together with FIFA, and as much as we discuss with FIFA, I think we will do it. We'll do it together. When
speaking further, the FIFA chief also hinted about the destination for the 2013 and 2035 Women's World Cup.
As part of the bidding process, we received one bid for 31 and one valid bid, I should add, for 35. The 31 bid is from the United States of America and potentially some other CONCACAF members together, and the 35 bid is from Europe, from the home nation. So the path is there.
Infantino also said that FIFA is already in talks with the International Olympic Committee to expand the Women's Olympic competition to 16 nations, aligning with the gender equity campaign of the United Nations. Staying with football, Everton Football Club has condemned death threats made towards James Tarkowski and his family following his tackle in Wednesday's Merseyside derby at Anfield. Tarkowski was booked for a late challenge on Liverpool's Alexis McAllister, but the Premier League refereeing body later said he should have been sent off. In a statement, Everton stressed that such behaviour is unacceptable both in football and society. The club is liaising with Tarkowski and his wife Samantha and is prepared to assist with investigation into the abuse. Samantha Tarkowski took to Instagram, calling the threats and vile comments beyond disgusting, reminding people that her husband is more than just a footballer. He is a father, husband and friend. Tarkowski, who apologized to McAllister after the game, explained that the tackle was unintentional, admitting it was not a great one. McAllister accepted the apology and Tarkowski expressed regrets over the incident. Everton continues to stand firmly against all forms of abuse and online intimidation. And in Spain, Barcelona will face fierce rivals Real Madrid in a mouth-watering Copa del Rey final after they beat Atletico Madrid 1-0 at the Metropolitano Stadium on Wednesday to complete a 5-4 aggregate win. Following an 8-goal thriller in the first leg of the semi-final in Barcelona, Ferran Torres' efforts from inside the box in the 27th minute was enough to earn the Catalan side a win in the Spanish capital. They booked their ticket to the final in Seville later this month. That's sports on the Sunday show. Many thanks for watching. I am Lai Lawal.
And public engagement by providing direct insights into the policies, initiatives, and reforms shaping the ministry's objectives. The Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Chuga, indeed a seasoned diplomat, deserves commendation for his commitment to promoting Nigeria's image on the global stage through proactive diplomacy, strategic international engagement, and a clear articulation of Nigeria's foreign policy objectives. Similarly, the Honorable Minister of Interior, Dr. Tunji Ojo, has brought remarkable innovation towards repositioning the ministry in line with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Under his leadership, the ministry has undergone transformative changes that have significantly enhanced the ease and efficiency with which Nigerians engage with and access its services. Since the launch of the 2025 series of ministerial press briefing, 7 of my colleagues, honorable ministers, have taken the stage to present their scorecards to Nigerians. Let me re-emphasize that each minister will have the opportunity to engage directly with Nigerians during this forum, leading up to the 2025 Democracy Day celebrations. This initiative, being driven by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, highlights the government's commitment to accountability. It equally serves as a platform to keep Nigerians informed about the ongoing policies and programs of the Tinubu administration to foster active citizens' engagement in the nation's governance process. I hereby take the liberty to reaffirm the commitment of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration to upholding press freedom and creating a conducive environment for the media to practice in this country. This administration believes that a free and responsible press is essential for good governance, transparency, and national development. Let me emphasize that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a foremost Democrat, is fully committed to protecting the constitutionally guaranteed rights of all Nigerians, and also encourages constructive criticism and healthy opposition because of their essential role in reinforcing and deepening our democratic framework.
Yes, you're welcome back. It is still your show, our show, the Sunday show on Africa Independent Television, AIT. We really appreciate your followership and engagement through our social media platforms. Keep them coming. Yes, we value it so much as we continue to strive towards addressing those issues that form part of our daily lives. Remember to treat others the way you want to be treated, like my sweetheart treats me here every week and every other day. By next week, we shall return with another interesting edition of the program. Don't go anywhere. Stay with AIT. And I want to say a very goodbye to you. Do have a wonderful week
ahead.
Yes.
And stay safe and stay out of trouble.
Exactly.